So, the wizard's crafted a device intended to keep the undead at bay, has he? Little did he expect we'd recognize the hulking source sapphire he's using to fuel it. Careful now, comrades, and tread lightly. There's no telling when that madman's doomsday device might gain sentience and turn its rays on us. To be met with such derision by my own comrade. Let me tell you a little something about... You know, if I recall correctly, a source sapphire does have a particular sheen about it. Yes, and I think that in fact, an authentic source sapphire buzzes with the trapped souls of 1,000 innocents too. Perhaps. Well, no matter if this particular gemstone is innocuous, the principle remains.
One coin or two, noble spirit? One coin or two? Oh, I am a happy man, and certainly a humble one now. It turns out losing it all has its own share of benefits. Ah, a fool once was I, and ever seeking greater satisfaction than that which I already enjoyed. In my folly, I sought the counsel of those notorious Watcher statues on the western cliffs. Their guidance ruined any small fortune I might have had, but certainly granted me humility. I'd heard they were not to be trusted, that they gave fool's advice to the fools who sought them, but somehow I believed that I was the exception. They told me that I would find fame and renown if I renounced my worldly possessions, all my worldly possessions, and became a great figure of piety and humility. Fire, the most thorough cleanser, was my method. But as my house burned in front of me, I felt no elevation, no piety, only the sudden weight of my own idiocy upon my very soul. May the soul of Astarte smile upon you, kind stranger.
Donate your...
Thank you, kind one.
So those statues told him he'd have to renounce his earthly possessions to become a spiritual leader, did they?
Tis I, Reginald the Illusionist!
Right. I'm not going to throw my things on a pyre in the hope that the stench of my burning trousers will please an ill-defined spirit.
Have some pity. Ah, cruel fortune. Have some pity.
He's a con man! Don't donate your time to that charlatan!
Have some pity.
Well, Mayor Cecil will be happy to see the likes of a source hunter. Welcome to the Town Hall of Sicil.
Well, Mayor Cecil will be happy to...
Golly gosh! One who flaunts the highways and byways of silly old Sicil with the easy elegance of a puss with her tail in the air. I do declare such a sight is rather rare around here. But where are my manners? I am Maxine, and you must be one of those hunters one hears so much about. Charmed, I'm sure. I'm the mayor's cat, don't you know? Born and raised on velvets and viands of most exquisite varieties. Maxine rhymes with queen, after all, and dearest. That is hardly a coincidence. But of course, darling, be my guest. Oh, this quaint little town is a tad too parochial for one of my more urbane tastes. But one has to make do, hasn't one? The fresh sea air does go to great lengths to invigorate one's spirit, that much I'll admit. And it is rather jolly to watch the ships sail in laden with all kinds of exotic wares, full of the little treats the mayor likes to spoil me with. Darling man, he dotes on me so. Heavens forbid! No, fear is rather too strong a term there, hunter dearest. The predator's instinct is a trait we share, you and I. And though those rancid ramblers may not be quite as easy to put to the claw as mice are, I assure you they are just as easily outwitted. Oh, he's a darling old Tom, isn't he? Paws over tails in love with me, and who can blame him? The feeling's, well, it's rather mutual, actually. But that pet of a puss simply doesn't have a penny to his name. At the risk of sounding as shallow as a spaniel, I can't but admit my love does not come unconditionally. What if we were to have kittens, he and I? They'd jolly well starve, wouldn't they, with an alley cat for a papa? Oh, dear Sam, he's such a good old bean. But he does rather reside at the bottom of the scratching pole, doesn't he? And dear me, one must have at least a mite of standards.
A source hunter! Oh, what a sight for sore Sicilian eyes! Me? I live alone here in town. Used to be that my younger brother Tom and I were practically joined at the hip, but that's all changed now. Oh, he's always been something of a rascal, calling his petty hooliganism adventuring and endlessly worrying my poor mind. But of course, I've always loved that scamp to bits. For my part, I encouraged him to join the Legion. Even got him sparring with Captain Orius now and then. But then those blasted Fabulous Five came into town. That band of... I don't even know what to call them. Well, they're his heroes, and I simply couldn't prevent him from going to see them. That one meeting was all it took for Tom to run off with them on some mission to God knows where.
What? Oh, it's you. Come closer then. Closer, huh? My ears aren't what they used to be. Nor my eyes, for that matter. Yes, hello, Source Hunter. Our city welcomes you. My elf? What elf? Oh, myself. I am Cecil, Mayor of Sicil, and husband of the stately Cecilia. I've been the mayor here for decades, and I'm quite eager to see Sicil through these difficult times. Yes, very difficult times indeed. What? Oh, you mean Sicil? Very difficult times indeed. As though the death of Jake, and by source magic no less, weren't enough. We're also facing all sorts of brutish intruders. The undead have overrun all but one northern trade route, while the orcs are making a habit of savaging our beaches. That's not to mention that at the top of this whole caboodle, there's rumors of some new religious sect or cult or some such sticking its tendrils into the innocent, seven-fearing folks of Sicil. And, while we're on the subject of troubles, I myself have a private matter I'd like to bring to your attention. It involves a magic relic I rather foolishly sought. A weapon called the Staff of Pergamon. Jake, murdered? Oh, yes. Yes, now I recall. Indeed. I could hardly believe it myself. The Council and I have certainly had our differences over the years, but old squabbles evaporate under such circumstances. Most of the townsfolk are certain Jake's wife Esmeralda is responsible. In fact, the Legion have taken her into protective custody to keep her safe from the mob. As you can imagine, I've known Esmeralda for years. That business between her and the Duke of Ferrol was always a bit, suggestive. But I've never had cause to suspect her of violence. Still, one never knows for sure. An all-right bloke, apart from all this Esmeralda nonsense. The whole town knows the only goal of his business trips to Sicil is to spend a night or two at the King Crab Inn with Mrs. Counselor. What? The undead? Yes, for the past 2 years those blasted skeletons have all but suffocated this city. With all but one trade route overrun, Sicil's once torrential commerce has slowed to a pathetic trickle. What now? Oh, you're speaking gibberish. Ah, you mean the Staff of Pergamon. Yes, yes. I was expecting a shipment of weapons, and among the cargo was this very powerful, very rare staff. I managed to place the order through means somewhat, atypical to a government official. Cecil proved an old fool, though. For the merchant slated to deliver it to me has just informed me that the damn thing has gone missing. I fear it may have fallen into the wrong hands, and I wonder if you could retrieve it for me. His name is Conrad, captain of the Tide Splitter, a merchant ship still docked at the Sicil harbor. You can talk to him if you think it'd help, but I'd quite like to avoid getting the Legion involved, if you don't mind. The staff itself contains a shard of an ore, highly valued for its use in the weapons of war. I know use of the material to be forbidden, but I was desperate to do something to aid the townsfolk against the undead. Well, I I do believe that's something your parents ought to have discussed with you long ago, Source Hunter. But I suppose if you really don't know, I'd be remiss if I didn't at least explain the basics. Ah, you see, when a lady and a fellow find each other rather nice, well, rather more than nice, they occasionally, well, they... Oh, this is nonsense. I'm the mayor for the seventh sake. I can't be bothered to chat all day about the birds and the bees when Sicil's under siege by orcs, undead, and cultists. That depends. What kind of berries are you interested in, exactly? Ah, the library. Yes, you must have a visit. It's the gem of Sicil. Would you like to have a look? I'll escort you upstairs myself. Please yourself. Let me know if you change your mind. You won't regret it. Oh yes, the Fabulous Five. Aren't they simply fantastic? I'm sure they'll get the job done in no time, especially with your expert hand lent to their cause. That machine Ahu built is an abomination. It must be stopped at all costs. I bet the wizard himself could provide some advice regarding how to destroy it. He's the mad scientist who crafted it after all. Maxine? What in heaven's name are you... Oh, you mean the mongrel that's always skulking about the place. I spent months trying to teach that worthless hound how to fetch, and it sat through every lesson looking at me as if I were an idiot. Man's best friend, my eye. I've always been more fond of cats myself. That depends. Ah, the library. Marvelous. Follow me then.
I knew that dark-dealing old man dabbled in source. To the gallows, I say.
What? Oh, yes. This library is the jewel in Sicil's crown. The beacon of culture and learning in our fair city. My Victoria has every volume you could possibly imagine, and she's got every speck of information about this place packed into her brilliant brain. Yes, Victoria's come a long way from that little bundle of claws and teeth I adopted so long ago. Ah, it brings a tear to my eye just seeing her here among her beloved books. What? Oh, yes. I'll be on my way back downstairs now. Please introduce yourself. I know Victoria will be happy to make your acquaintance.
Omnes autem mali daemonis quam. What? What is this? Who are you to interrupt my musings? By Naga the Protector, they have the manners of boors, these boatmen of Sicil. Oh, but perhaps I spoke too soon. Perhaps I was mistaken, for you hardly resemble the local fisherfolk, which, incidentally, is a compliment of copious dimensions indeed. No, a source hunter, that is what you are. Yes, a stalker of sorcery, a chaser of charms pernicious. In truth, I cannot go so far as to say it is a pleasure to make your acquaintance, for I take no pleasure in the company of man. But it may just be to our mutual advantage to join forces nonetheless. Why, simply because you hunt source, and I, Jehan, hunt demons. You are aware, of course, that quite often both of these pests frequent the same shadowy pools of infamy. Now, I hate what I hunt, but I respect its cunning. Should I not, I'd have been decimated, body and soul, long since. This is a sentiment I'm quite certain you must recognize. Let there be strength in cunning, yes, but also in numbers. The calculus of wizardry I offer you, the might of the magician's mastermind. On one condition. that on our joint travels we will never deal with demonic entities, no matter how tempting their propositions. Give me your word on this, and I'll weave you spells.
You speak before your turn. I, for one, am not ready to make that promise.
Oh, simple souls. Oh, doomed spirits. What tangled webs you'd weave. But I won't be a fly to be caught in them. Begone. Reflect. And if you should see the light, I will be here in the library. For now, you are not worthy of my devotion. The Source Hunter. Why, simply because you hunt Source, and I, Jehan, hunt demons. You are aware, of course, that quite often both... Now, this is a sentiment I'm quite... on one can... Most gratifying. I see you are firm of purpose, and thereby ready to descend. Descend into the madness that is sorcery. Into the depths where demons dance. Gladly shall I follow you into the abyss. Onward, blood and triumph await.
Kajdanor. A brief history of sorcery still hasn't been returned. Theleron will have to pay yet another fine. In the name of Amun-Hor, I bid thee Tujda Getahal, be welcome, human. My library is yours, as I hope your friendship is mine. I am Victoria, daughter of Mayor Cecil. Oh, I know what you're thinking. The likeness isn't exactly striking, is it? When I was very young, you see, I must have been cast out by my tribe, for I was found in a wicker basket floating past Sicil toward the sea. The fisherman who found me would have drowned me on the spot, for I am an orc after all. But praise be Amun-Hor, dear Cecil was among the gathered crowd, and he took pity on the exiled infant that chance had put in his way. He raised me like I was his own, this kindest of souls, taught me the language of men, their customs and their letters. Thus, I became the city's librarian, a position I uphold with no small diligence and pride. Indeed you may. The wisdom I here hold is yours to peruse and even take with you. All I can ask is that you return the books you borrow so that others may enjoy them too. Kajdanor. A brief history of sorcery still hasn't been returned. Theleron will have to pay yet another fine. The knight in see-through armor, Princess Buttercup with the blushing bottom, Sternticken. Esmeralda does have a propensity for all things naughty, hasn't she? Volume 1, Volume 2. But where has the third one gone? Shatsu. Sometimes I think these books sprout little legs in the night. Volume 1, Volume 2. But where has the third one gone? Shatsu. Sometimes I think these books sprout little legs in the night. Dinor. The brief history of sorcery still hasn't been returned. Teleron will have to pay yet another fine. Dinor. The brief history of sorcery still hasn't been returned. Teleron will have to pay yet another fine. Hello again, adventurer. I hope you wiped those muddy boots on your way in. Volume 1, Volume 2. But where has the third one gone? Shatsu. Sometimes I...
How fares your first quest, hero and hunter? Fabulously exciting, I'll bet. Who? Tom? Doesn't ring a bell. Oh, hold on. Yes, of course, Tom! One of our most recent additions to the Fellowship. Brave kid, smart as a tack. He'll prove to be a wonderful addition to the family yet.
Dearest customer, I've never seen an aura so plagued by ether. Thank Astarte, I've just the earth scroll to ground you.
Let's see. Carrot, cheese, tomatoes.
Good day to you.
Any takers? Come on, you chickens!
I think I'll sleep by the fire tonight, once the regulars stagger home. Aye, so there's the rub. I am but a stray, and she is the mayor's cat. Oh, I do understand her, I do. She wants a Tom of means, not privation. One who brings home the sardines and the occasional halibut. Would that I still had my collar. Such a marvel it was, as bejeweled as the night sky with precious stones, said to have once been worn by a far-off Maharaja's best hunting cheater. Like the king of all cats, I looked when I wore it. A gift bestowed upon me by a princess whom I had kept company during a long and perilous voyage. A precious band of gemstones, lost as I was tossed around by the waves like a ball in a game of catch. Among the waves it remains, I imagine. Worn perhaps by a crab who fancies himself a Caesar with it. If only I could be the Caesar again, and Maxine my Caesarina.
That purring sound. Mind control vibrations, I'm sure. Don't be seduced, comrades.
That cat is a miracle of creation. Don't you dare befoul it with your moronic delusions.
Providing you can afford it, I'll be happy to supply you with all the gear you'll need while swinging swords alongside the Fabulous Five.
Any takers? Come on, you chickens!
Liberté, equality, and brotherhood for all will turn the wicked cleaver of decapitation upon you. Revolution is coming!
Excellent. Let's keep it that way. Toasty!
Good luck with these Sicilians, Source Hunter. They'll run you ragged if you let them.
Murder within the walls, undead outside the walls. And here we legionnaires sit twiddling our thumbs.
Looks like the Mortician is rather suspicious about Jake.
What could Mayor Cecil, Captain Aureus, or Evelyn have to do with it?
Will never make it inside these walls. Excellent. Let's keep it that way.
Baking like a cake.
Did someone leave an oven door open?
Sir, we'll have none of that, you hear?
What? Does the ground turn to glue when you've been naughty around here?
Will never make it inside these walls. Excellent. Let's keep it that way.
Oh, how nice it is of you. The very picture of youth, to break the monotony of an elder's day. Wild away on this hardwood bench. Pray, let me be forward with you, O sapling rose, O leaf of spring. For my weary mind is troubled, and would highly prize thy gentle-handed assistance, thy kind ministrations. I am but an aged elf that has seen the years parade in long succession. Gladly shall I tell you more. Will I regale thee, O whelp of men, with my tale? But not here, where the winds may steal my words. You would listen to my grievances, guide me towards untroubled realms. Oh, you are truly a wonder, oh budding flower of the morn. Yet that which I would tell you is of a rather private nature. So let us escape both the chill and the eye of public scrutiny. Hot spiced wine and a snug little room awaits us on the King Crab's first floor. Let us go there so that we can warm our bones, yet make shiver our hearts with a tale of loss and sorrow.
Nemrys is the greatest philosopher in the land, you know. I'd give me left whiskers to be half as smart as him.
Hey, wow! I was wondering where that awesome sweaty boot smell was coming from. And here you are. Wow! This is great! I'm Murphy, Jake's dog. Wow, you smell great! Have you been rolling around on dead things all day? That's my favourite hobby too. You know who I miss? Jake. Sometimes he'd just sit there being awesome. And I'd give him this look like, you smell great. And he'd give me this look like, you do too, Murphy. And he was my best friend. I came here so I could smell Jake again. He smelled great. But whatever's buried there doesn't smell like Jake at all. No, it's definitely not Jake. He was awesome. If I ever find out who killed Jake, the most awesome Jake who ever jaked, I'll bark so much! Seriously, so much! You have no idea!
Here lies Judith, warrior princess. Here lies Gregory, whose wife told him so. Here lies Neil, killed in the line of duty. I want to go home.
Looks like that dog is awfully agitated.
Perhaps he wants to tell us something.
So many dead civilians. It's an honor to visit the fallen.
The fallen have no use for honors or visits. Their days have passed, ours have not. Let us not waste them on pointless ceremony. This dog we met, how true a creature he is. How loyal and unwavering in its affections. His master is dead, but not even this, not even nature's great betrayal of life, stops his warm-heartedness from beating. Animals, dog and deer, elk and eagle. We burden and butcher them, wretches that we are. These pillars of creation, we topple them, though their spirits are so very pure. They do not scheme. They do not deceive. Perfidy. That is the human condition. This kind, this trusty beast, he is man's best friend, though man does not deserve one. You are human. All too human. And you place trust in your fellows. But one day, a stab in the back will tell you I am right. I know, for I have lain on silken cushions in marble palaces, and I have lain on wet leaves in soggy forests. Vastly do I prefer the latter. Oh, the occasional thorn may pierce your skin, but at least you are aware the sting is not that of a poisoned needle hidden by aspiring rivals. In the animal kingdom only one is free. Beware the wolf, yes, beware the bear. But their rules are honest. The kingdoms of man, they are built upon the blood of the ones not strong enough to lay claim to power. This dog, it is a creature worthy of your affection. The ones you see around you, the men and women of this world, they are not.
Here lies Kavanagh. Will they have Sicil pie in the afterlife? Here lies Jake. Please do not disturb. Here lies David, who ran from the Reaper. You'll never catch me alive. Here lies Nemris, master of philosophy.
Rest in peace, darling.
Where are you?
Peace be with you, traveller. May your lost loved ones rest in peace. I once lived a prosperous life with my husband and our happy little daughter, Loni. But when the undead plague broke out, my dear husband was among the first killed. Loni never recovered from the loss. And when a group of mercenaries, predators, more aptly called, came to town dangling the opportunity to annihilate those undead devils, Loni lapped up their rhetoric and joined without so much as a backward glance. She was killed less than a week after she joined. Here she lies, and here I stand, mourning the death of my last joy.
In memory of Loni, death lies on her like an untimely frost upon the sweetest flower of all the field. Here lies Helen, killed by an enraged zombie. I'm sure we can talk this out. Here lies Catherine. I know, I was great. Here lies Patrick. You can kill me, but you'll never kill the dancer inside me.
Rest in peace, darling. Peace be with you, traveller. I once lived a Loni never recovered. She was killed last.
In memory of Loni, death lies on her like an untimely frost upon the sweetest flower. Here lies Patrick. You can kill me, but you'll never kill the dancer inside me. Here lies Jared. Shall I come back as an enraged spirit or a lovable prankster ghost? Here lies Kimberly. Finally.
Salutations! You don't look like you're quite ready to head out into the undead-infested wilds to me. You may have the right number of champions in your party, yet in experience I think you are most probably lacking. Of course, the choice is yours, but are you sure you want to venture out? Thank you for heeding my words of warning, Hunter. Sisal needs you. Needs you.
I wouldn't venture too far out of town if I were you. Many legionnaires did so before you. Very few have returned. Ahu's invention, the stasis blaster, quite a sight, no? The Rakens these days we legionnaires hold a lottery to see. Don't ask me how the blaster...
I wouldn't venture too far out of town if I were you.
Know much about zombies, do ya? How about walking bones?
Step aside! Ah! This maniac's gonna turn me into a meat pie! Ah!
Come on, chicken, 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 viens chez papa. Come on, chicken, chicken, chicken.
Chef makes something especially tasty. Maybe he'll give us a nibble for helping him out.
So you've had a bit on the feral wall, have you? The question crossed through you, and each year of aptitude.
Do as I say.
Yippee-ki-yay! I'm free! I'm free! So long, suckers!
Why did you let my chicken escape?
You let my chicken escape? Looks like it's your lucky day, Jack. Now to tell the troops they're getting nothing but the cornbread.
Well, Source Hunter, you come to the right place, you have. I got every style of equipment to fit you from head to foot, if it's a trade you're after.
You again? Come to throw my dinner to the wind again, have you? I'm Chef Maurice, the one and only culinary connoisseur capable to make a dish for an army with little more than a single chicken.
Give me muck, tra-la-la-la-la, and I'm in luck, fa-la-la-la-la. I'm writing a story called The Pearl and the Swine. That'll help some old prejudices out of this world. You know how you people say you're a good provider when you bring home the bacon? You should knock that off.
Never trust a doctor. They're all witches. Have you met the archaeologist? He knows all about the mysterious burial mounds of Sicile.
Drink and gamble, that's all we do around here. Hope you fare better, Source Hunter.
I wouldn't venture too far out of town if I were you. Many legionnaires did so before you, and very few have returned.
I'm telling you, a necromancer must be at work in Sicile. How else do you explain risen dead sprouting like mushrooms in the night?
What can I do for you, Source Hunter? May they be pertinent, Hunter. You are right and you are wrong, Hunter. Right precisely because I was wronged. As you long have guessed, the wound that ever bleeds was inflicted unto me by one of our species. Though in many ways she was beyond human scope. My station was a high one once, until I was brought very low. I learned among the dregs that men are the same everywhere. Whether they approach you in a back alley reeking of sewer, or the jasmine-scented corridors of royal castles, they smile at you warmly, like friends would, as they fondle their daggers' hilts behind their backs. You are right that I lost affection, but I found it again among the beasts, among the stray cats and street dogs with whom I shared my all too meager meals. Over time, the deer of the forest no longer fled when I approached. Birds would gladly perch upon my hand and eat from my palm. I found among them a serenity unseen amid humanity. There you are wrong, because for them, I harbor a vivid love indeed. I am not from any place anymore. I go where my quest leads me. Besides, the name would mean nothing to you. The glorious city in the glorious kingdom where I was born. I remember them well, the sandstone castles, hued like the very sun that batters their battlements without rest. I can see them still. The fountained gardens and halls of pearl-colored marble inlaid with gemstones set in shapes of plants and beasts. Yes, I can see them still. though when I try to focus on their details, like mirages, they dissolve upon approach. Time. It frays the foundations of memory. For 1,000 reasons, and for one especial. The 1,000 obvious ones are list with pleasure. The special one, that is my secret to keep. One, their scourge taints the natural world. 2, their machinations irreversibly corrupt minds. 3, their perversions seek to end all beauty. 4, their schemes unhinge the fabric of space and time. 5, their presence distorts all intrinsic harmony. Hunter, I could find you cross-dressed under the spell of a dominant goblin, yet when next we'd meet there'd be no questions asked. I have my secrets. Undoubtedly, you have yours. They are ours to keep. And so let the hunt continue.
Murder within the walls, undead outside of the walls. And here we legionnaires sit, twiddling our thumbs. It's heating up.
You don't think it's infected, do you?
Come on now, I pulled her off you before she could do any real damage.
Any real damage? Are you joking? I've been mauled. I'll be disfigured for life.
Ah, come on with the dramatics. It's not as bad as all that.
The face, Virius! She bit me in the face!
Look on the bright side. Everyone knows the ugly soldiers are the most ferocious.
Ugly'll be the least of it. The beast looks rabid.
In that case, you'll have the pleasure of putting her down yourself.
I wish for you to try it, Screech woman.
The beast speaks? So you've half a brain behind that feral maul, have you?
The cretin's question crossed her lips and aped an air of aptitude.
Hey, Tull, I think that was an insult.
Don't pay attention to the beast, Virius. You'll only encourage it. Hey, who's that then? Come on, stand where my good eye can see you.
Easy, Tull. That's the source hunter you're talking to.
She may have the look of a woman if you squint hard enough, but she's no more than a wild animal. We got reports of a strange-looking outsider skulking through the town with her bow drawn. I found her crouched behind a tree, taking aim at a fat old rat trotting along the city walls. I tapped her on the shoulder to see what was what, and the beast startled like a wild cat and lunged right at me.
Bit Tullia right in the face, she did. It wasn't pretty, and now it's got a chunk ripped off it to boot.
Enjoy it while you can, Ver. There's not another legionnaire in the cohort that'll have you if I go rabid.
Well, that's to be decided. She doesn't seem to be sick, despite Tully's moaning. We can't keep her here forever, but we can't well send her into the wilds again, can we?
After all, a fearless hunter might prove quite useful for our investigation.
Well, that's a relief, ain't it? We found a good home for her after all, Cull.
Heed me, Source Hunter. She's not good for anything more than cannon fodder. And don't turn your back on her when she's got that bow within arm's reach.
Source Hunter, I have heard tales both grand and terrible about the world of humans. I myself was caged one moment and freed the next by our kind. In Home Forest, every creature acts according to the nature of its kind. Birds frighten easily, badgers fear little. But amongst men, there are no guarantees. It is strange to stand with one foot in the forest and the other in the city, Source Hunter. I am glad that now I have you standing beside me, even if one burns hot while the other wheezes cold. Perhaps in time I will come to know my own kind as you have, and perhaps then I will decide for myself whether ours is a noble kind.